right, good morning. So I brought in the big guns again. It's kind of difficult. I go on all these rants and stuff, and I just don't know if it ever makes any sense. Hello, everybody. That was more difficult than I thought it was. Okay, Fiberglass day one. All right, we had a rough start. Look how pretty the river is. Super nice evening. 7 p.m. Yeah, it's really pretty. Nice early September day. So, the name of the game is, you can't tell that I did any. Because it's supposed to just go crystal clear when you get all the air bubbles worked out of it. So, I've done about 40%. I've got about 40% done. Had a late start, kind of game planning and doing some prep work. So I think I'll be able to get all the way around this tomorrow. I have no qualms about that. I think today was a giant success. Lots of swearing in the first 30 minutes, and then after that, I just found my groove. And see my rickety setup here. This corner was hard to get, so there you go. Elaborate setup. All right, it's one of those, don't ask how I'm gonna do it, just walk away, come back in 30 minutes, one of those things. But anyway, today was a great day, so I hope to get all the way around it tomorrow and call the fascia complete. All right, so I finished the fascia. I forgot my phone the other day, so I couldn't show you that I finished it. But it turned out really well, and I'm super happy with knocking that difficult part out, you know, as my very first task. Up high, it was awkward, tooling up and around into the soffit area, so that was a little tricky, but I'm glad that I knocked it out first. So it really got all my little skills on how to roll and tool and stuff. I've got them all honed just beautifully now. So I'm starting up on the roof, laying out a bunch of pieces, both layers, keeping the seams, you know, at least 6 inches apart with overlap for the 2 layers. So it's, I'm, you know, kind of moving on to the second part here, and it's going really well. So that's it. I'll show you a time lapse today. Hopefully I get some of the actual, the flat part of the roof fiberglass today. I hope to get about half of it done, I think. And I'll have to blend it over the side into the fascia board and tool them nice so that there's not too big of a bump there for me to sand out later. Blend them together just nicely. So that's what I'm on to today, and we'll show you, we'll show you how I do it. Okay. Okay, so I actually, in starting this fiberglass and stuff, I haven't done a video where I actually go over, you know, this sanding and stuff that I've been up to for 3 months, and I kind of am just like, now I'm sort of rushed right into starting the fiberglass and stuff because the seasons are changing and the weather is starting to be really good weather for fiberglass. You know, not too hot and certainly not too cold, but it will be in a couple of months. So I'm kind of just like rushing into that, but I do want to take a little bit of time and just kind of go over what I was doing and kind of document some of it before I fiberglass over it and gel coat it, and it's kind of gone forever, you know, stuff like that. I know it doesn't look like much, but it represents a great deal of work, you know. So I'm going to try to take a bunch of pictures of some of this stuff, because even for me, once I was done, I was like, man, this is just insane how much work. And I've had a couple of guys that, you know, are very skilled that kind of just come through in passing, and they're just, you know, their minds are blown of not that they couldn't do it themselves, but just the sheer amount of work that has gone into all of this stuff. You know, everything being round, everything sanded, Bondo where it's needed, you know, just the curve being really continuous and a good shape. It was like, you run your hand over it and it's just nice and smooth. you know, building a couple of extremely custom lids. Thank you, Dad. But building it was kind of one thing, and then you have to you get into rounding over every corner, you know, blending everything together with some wood filler. It has to be rounded on the inside edge too. You know, this inside radius here is well, I don't know how Al actually came up with it. There's a guy down the road, Al, he told me this is the Sikaflex that you want to do, but it's really, really good caulking. But put it on with his caulking gun there, and then I had like a rounded tool. So these are all it's just all things that were overlapped, one after the other to get a really, really nice shape with rounded corners, and that it's smooth and continuous so that you can do fiberglass. And now that I'm starting the fiberglass, it's tooling very easily because of the work that I did before. But anyway, it's really hard to kind of explain the scope of just how many little tiny tasks when I said I was sanding. It's just, quite honestly, it's more, I never considered myself to be an artist. I was never good at doing drawing or sculpting or shaping or whatever, but this is something, this is crazy. And I didn't see that when I was initially demoing the building, like, oh yeah, okay, I could build that up. I'll build an oval. How hard could it be? Yeah, it's actually extremely difficult. And you can take a couple of paths where you're like, oh, that's good enough. I don't like going down the good enough train. I think that's not a good way, you know, to work for yourself or work for anyone really. But yeah, anyway, it's crazy. My little Joe, it's kind of difficult. I go on all these rants and stuff, and I just don't know if it ever makes any sense. You know, there's so much to show, and there's so much that I could just keep rambling on about. And I'm trying to, you know, show the curves and show the routering and show all the work, and I just keep rambling on. It was a ton of work. It did get me down. It was continuous. So I don't know, maybe that's just it, you know? I can sort of just go like this, and if I hold it there long enough, I mean, people should be able to pick up on, you know, the work, all of the seams, all of the heads, all of the curve. You know, people should be able to pick up kind of how much work it is, but looking back on these videos, little Joe, I won't forget. I certainly won't forget how much work was there. And when I put the gel coat on, and it's white or whatever color it is, I'm not going to be able to see, but I can always look back and be like, oh yeah, no, I remember what I did there. No, I remember all of this. Anyway, it's hard to kind of show how much work this sanding part was without rambling on, because it's a lot. All right, good morning. So yesterday, I had an awesome day up here on the roof. See, here's the back of the dome, or the barrel. So I got all this, you know, all the way around to the other side. 2 layers of fiberglass. This one layer goes up, I don't know, about a foot. Second is right here at the joint, and it's blended right into the fascia board. And it just, I started in one side, worked around the front, yeah, and then worked around the other side, and it turned out just beautiful, and blends really nicely into the wall here. Nice light sand, and it's ready for gel coat. So now day 2 on the roof. I'm starting, I've cleared this whole area off here, back here, the deck or whatever we'll call it. So I'm gonna actually plan to get all this done by today. So I'm gonna lay it all out, get it all seamed together real nice and perfect. I'll have to cut out some custom pieces for the little hole. I'll probably do big sheets just around it in a square, and then I'll do smaller sections that kind of blend into the two layers on the flat, go up, down, and up, around, and then down right to the bottom. So it'll be one continuous piece. So I'll blend it in about here, and it'll be, well, two layers, one piece that then goes all the way, and the excess just comes down to the bottom here. So yeah, I'm gonna start laying this out, and then I'll take a break after I've laid it all out, and then I'll come back in the afternoon and I will glass all this. So we're back to fiberglass. Well, I've been fiberglassing for a while. I brought in my dad again so that we could do the walls. I could do everywhere else pretty well by myself, but when I got to the walls, it was very quickly apparent that I couldn't do it alone. So I brought in the big guns again. We've been a couple of days now, and you'll see some of the time lapses, but it's going really well. It's turning out super nice, and we'll show you our time lapses of how we're gonna do it. We've broken it up, and we're just gonna tackle it one day at a time. So come along for the ride. Right on. So, we've already done this part right here, but you can see I've broken it up in about like a 20-foot section, and we're doing the bottom section and tying it into the gunnel here, and then after, when it dries, I'll remove the staples, fold it down to where they are lapped over, and then we'll do the next section, you know, a different day in 2 stages, up and down all the way around. So we've done the bottom to about the same point on the other side. So we have all the top to do over there, but I actually am I have to hang the bottom and the top for this last piece. I didn't get that prepared for before my dad got here. So we're going to actually hang the rest of the sheets, and we'll do a time lapse of that so you can see that get done. And I'll fold the top back, and we're actually going to fiberglass the bottom this afternoon. So big day, we'll take you along. Let's see how it goes. All right, what you just saw there was we did 2 layers on the top. They're 3-inch overhang or 4-inch overhang from one to the other. And then you just saw me very quickly, I did some sanding at the joints where this is already fiberglass, and we're gonna lay the bottom sheets now. And just if there was any burrs or hard fibers sticking out, we just cleaned them off and knocked the head off of all of the stuff where we're actually going to lap into today. So right now, we're going to do the bottom 2 layers, and we're going to pin the top up, and that's it. We can start fiberglassing this bottom and have it done today. Okay, here we go. We're ready. We prepped. Took us a half day. We're finished with now putting all the fiberglass on. That's it. We just have to fold them down, soak them. But we've got this all ready, this bottom part. We're going to soak it this afternoon and see how it turns out. All right, well, after a really good lunch, picked a few things up, come back. We got at it. We bought a new roller, though, with a heavy nap. Made all the difference in the world. We started in this corner, about 3 hours, worked our way all the way around to the other side. Bob's your uncle.
Pretty good day?
Good day.
All right on, Dad.
Good morning. Okay, so the bottom all the way around is now done. So we have the top to do all the way around, and this is our first section that we're going to do here. We've got a pretty good setup with the 2 ladder jacks and the ladder and a good plank. So that turned out better than what I thought was actually going to be what we were standing on. So we're all ready. We're set up to do about 20 feet here to do a trial run on this to see how we're going to go. And I think it's going to turn out good. We're ready to get going. Good morning. So, take a look at this. So yesterday, our first day having to work off a scaffold setup, and the scaffold setup was actually way better and much safer than I actually anticipated how it would work. But it worked really, really well. We flowed very nicely. And it honestly was just actually faster than I thought it was going to go. So we have a much more elaborate setup for the back of the boat today. We will take you along for the ride. And this one's a little more tricky, but I think we're gonna have it licked. From this corner all the way around to the other corner. Done today. Let's go.
All right.
Here's our, as safe as can be, elaborate setup to get the back done. And I don't see it to be any problem at all. And we'll get right to here. And then that will be into tomorrow where I have it split there. This will be a really nice piece to get done. And that would button up the entire back of the boat.
Nice. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Every minute of it. There's always going to be jobs. You just have to work through it.
Okay, take a look at that. That was about 3 hours. It worked beautifully, our setup. We now took it down. It was super safe and it looks awesome. So this afternoon, we are going to set up on this side. We're going to shift the boat over, set up our planks on this side, get those windows prepped, and we'll be ready to pour first thing in the morning.
Good morning. Well, the work for today, this is we're going to get this side done. Hopefully we'll see how it goes. It should go good. It's been, we've got it down pat. Our scaffold's all set up, nice and safe. So we're just about ready to get at it. So follow along.
Here we go. This is it. This is the last pour. We have 9.5 windows to do. And that is it. Fiberglass will be complete. I still have a whole lot of sanding on all the joints, but all the fiberglass will be done. 2 layers of 1.5 ounce mat, 3 barrels, 165 gallons of resin. I'll be happy to put this task to bed. I am super happy it's over. Last pour, it's gonna go well. Let's check it out. Okay, there you have it. Both fiberglass. That was the last piece. I think it was the hardest piece. I'm super happy that my dad was here to help. I took you along for the ride. I didn't show you too much of the roof, and I didn't show you too much of the decking. I did that alone by myself, and I showed you more of the hard part, and it took us 7 days to do the walls to get around here. So we have been absolutely killing it. I'm really glad that it's done, and a big thanks to my dad for coming out to help. Okay, this is it. This is the end of my dad's time here. We got the fiberglass done. Yeah, it was such a big hand to have you around. I can't believe how much work we got done, and Joe and I are super appreciative. So we finished the fiberglass and we dry fit all the windows, and they all fit like a glove. So I can proceed with sanding, and then I can proceed with the gel coat. And I owe a big thanks to this guy.
It was my pleasure helping my son. It was great. Great time.
There it is. She's gonna change fast now. Goodbye wood and hello gel coat.
Cool.